Welcome to the American Business Podcast. I'm Kevin Devecioglu. I'm welcoming you today, episode 59. We are almost 60. We are excited, and we are covering more and more educational, informative business content on weekly basis. The American Business Podcast is the voice of American business. Today's number is 164 billion. This is how much American businesses paid for workplace injuries in 2020. Today we'll talk about workplace safety and safety practices. And we have a great guest today. I'll invite our guest to our virtual stage and we can get the conversation started. Christian, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, how are you?
How are you today?
Very good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. How is your week going so far?
Fantastic. I saw that number you put up there. That's a lot of money flowing through.
Yes, $164 billion that
Yeah,
American businesses paid.
we do a lot of training, and we go through a lot of that stuff. And the financial part is definitely a big part of it. We try to focus on the human element and making sure that nobody gets hurt, and we want them home at the end of the day. But what's really driving that the whole safety experience, the whole safety industry is that very large number that you just put up there.
Yes, absolutely. And there are lessons to be taken. And today, you and I, we can also, chit chat and discuss about it as well with our audience and for our listeners to, learn and get some insights.
Great.
Well, that sounds good. Maybe we can get started. So you and I, we had actually a great episode 3 months ago. It was in May. And we got thousands and thousands of views. And the interest that our audience and our listeners showed to your insight and the information that you shared was actually really exciting. That also, tells us how educational and informative episode that we had together. So today I'm very happy to have you today, and we can discuss more and learn from you in terms of the workplace safety and safety requirements. I am also
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, it's my pleasure, and I'm also checking our episodes as well. It was episode 18 that you and I we actually chit chat and talk about the workplace safety. This is episode 59. So
Good for
yeah,
you.
so yeah, appreciate it. So it's the time flies, and we had many different episodes in between.
Yeah.
But workplace safety is very important for companies and organizations, and it's a very popular subject to discuss and learn from experts like yourself anytime that we can get the opportunity. Let's just start with a general conversation, if that's okay. If you can tell us about any workplace safety updates, at any insights that you like to share with our audience as a start.
Yeah, I think the industry as a whole has this huge shift going on from older workers to younger workers. Older workers weren't necessarily exposed to safety or safety practices when they were younger, or even in school, or even as they were growing up in their career. It was more like, hey, let me be the tough person. Let me be the it's either funny or tough if I don't follow the safety procedures, or what are even the safety procedures. They've never been even explained to me. Whereas now you shift to this younger younger group coming up through the workforce, and they've been exposed to it. They've been exposed to it through school, through whatever work they previously had, and there's almost like a demand for it. So you have these two different work groups, that one finds safety annoying, and then another one that absolutely demands it. And then as safety professionals, you have to appeal to both sides. So this shift is going on from safety is annoying to safety is demanded. And we're trying to fill that demand as much as possible. And what's coming out of that is a lot of creativity. So this younger group that's coming in is coming in with a bunch of great ideas. And they probably don't even have a safety background. It might be an engineer, it might be a laborer, it doesn't matter. But they have all these creative ideas of how to do their specific job safer, and we welcome all that information. It's really, really good information, but it's funny because they're taught it in college or even high school. Like the shop class has safety involved now. Can you imagine 50 years ago when they had shop like the safety glasses? Are you kidding me? Get out of here. So there's this real big shift, and it's so exciting. I love to be part of it, and I love to, invite that new workforce in and get us to really where we need to be. Because as a country as a whole, we're not really where we need to be. We're getting there, but we have more work to do.
Yes, and to your point, the generational shift. Now the new generation is coming in to the professional life. Previous generations are slowly withdrawing from the professional world, and there is that change going on, the generational change as well that we actually observe and experience
Yep.
in business world in general. That it's funny that you mentioned it also with the workplace safety practices
Right.
and on the field. Speaking of workplace safety for companies and organizations, can you tell us about some of the best practices? What is the best way to stay on top of regulations and comply?
Yeah. What I find is the best thing is to know what you don't know. So it's hard to fix things that you don't know. Maybe you've been in business 30 years, 40 years, and you've been chugging along and everything's fine. But but unless you have like an in-depth gap analysis, you truly don't know what you need to fix. A good example would be forklifts. You have a bunch of forklifts at your facility, and yes, all of our employees that drive forklifts are trained. That's great, but that's only one small part of the regulation, right? The regulation requires that you do checklists and that you have eye wash stations and you do a practical exam and all these other things. And are you missing those? And you don't know if you miss those unless you have an in-depth gap analysis. And there's two ways to go about it. One would be internally, right? You just go ahead and do your own gap analysis of what you think you're supposed to be having, and then if you're actually doing it. Another thing would be to invite an outside entity with a fresh pair of eyes to kind of come in and do a gap analysis. And that's kind of where TwoSafe comes in. TwoSafe can come in with this professional set of new eyes that can kind of look at what you're doing and then provide you a report with like, okay, here's your gap analysis of all the things that you should be doing and you're not doing. And then you could divvy it up from there. Like say, so then Sarah's going to take care of these three things and John's going to take, and now you're starting to move in a new direction. So, knowing what you don't know is probably really important for business owners or facility operators to really get out there. And you got to be honest with yourself, right? So many times it's like, yeah, we do that. And it's like, do you do it? Like, yeah, we kind of say we do it, but do we actually do it? How is our training? Is our training good? Or do we have them read a pamphlet or do they do online training? Like really kind of get all the skeletons out of the closet and then you can kind of deal with them. And what's nice is at that point, then you could set priorities and there's no timeline. OSHA comes in, you get a violation, guess what? You have a timeline. You better fix that within 30 days or you're going to get these violations. Whereas if you have your own gap analysis and you know all those skeletons in your closet, well, now you could prioritize and kind of like get to it when you can get to it because it's hard to do everything, right? Especially all at once. So you can, and also the financial aspect of it. So maybe we need some machine guarding, maybe we need some new equipment. You could kind of budgetize that and plan it out as opposed to if OSHA came in and did it. Now all of a sudden you have that $60,000 expenditure and it's right away as opposed to planning it out a little bit more appropriate.
Yeah, these numbers are pretty scary. So
Yeah,
it's important to stay on top of the workplace safety practices as well as regulations and laws and all the changes coming in with it. So these are important points.
right.
Well, so one of our popular subjects is AI, and that actually became more and more popular in recent months for us, for our audience. And from your point of view, what is the impact of AI and how AI is changing businesses, in your professional opinion?
Yeah, I think this is one of the main reasons I wanted to come on today is to kind of talk about this because it's very interesting, meaning that there's no right answers, there's no wrong answers. Like everyone kind of has an opinion, and it's this technology that's taking off. And like, where is it going? What are we doing with it? Are we using it the right way? Are we not using it the right way? Where is the information coming from? So, to answer your question, is AI is very helpful. It's a tool. It's a tool that we could put in our toolbox and utilize it, along with many other tools. So in the safety industry, absolutely, we have a lot of mundane tasks that we have to do. We have to analyze data. We have to generate reports. AI is fantastic at that kind of stuff. But AI has no personality, right? So AI can't do training. Sure, AI can read off of PowerPoint, but like, where's the humor in that? Where's the interaction? Um, Also, if I'm not behind my computer analyzing data and AI can do that for me, well, now I'm boots on the floor. Right now, I'm talking to people. What are the issues? Get me some information. And that is so valuable. So if I could use AI to free up some time to do some really great personal work, that's great. So I find like AI kind of makes us be more human, right? So we're getting away from this drudgery of data. Let that do it, and now I could be more human, and now I could talk to people, and I could be on the floor and identify more things. So again, I see it as a tool more than a detriment. We definitely use it. It's very helpful in what we do day to day. Obviously, it's got to be verified. You have to know where the information comes from. So, but it's definitely something that's on our in our toolbox.
Yes, that's definitely a fascinating subject. And we also had a very deep conversation with one of the experts last week, and we talk about AI. We talk about um, the super intelligence coming up. So they call it super intelligence, as
Right.
to it's to be being super and having all these capabilities in terms of knowledge and the information that it keeps gathering and learning pretty quickly.
Right.
And the truth is, of course, no one knows how it's going to be the future, but it's worth talking about it because it already started affecting businesses. We are already using it on daily basis. Just at least a regular consumer can use a chat GBT or Copilot
Mhm.
or things like that, or Gemini, for example. And just one of the tests that you can do, you can ask chat GBT about your company, about yourself. Let's see what chat GBT or Gemini or Copilot knows about you and your business, for example. That's pretty interesting insight.
So I have done that, and it's a little scary, but
How was it?
yeah,
How'd you like it?
it's it's interesting because you don't realize how much of your information is out on the World Wide Web, and like for it to just extrapolate all that and summarize like you is very interesting. I'm going to use the word interesting, not scary. It's very interesting.
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
And in your view, will AI replace humans and their jobs in the future?
Yeah, so I don't think so. I don't think, especially with what we do as safety professionals, we are responsible to uh, be that liaison between the employee and making sure that they're safe. So there's a lot of hands-on work what we do as safety professionals. Now, can it write policies? Can it create job hazard analysis? Sure, but how are we going to get to that employee, and how are we going to present that to that employee? Um, there's also a lot of creativity in what we do in safety, which is nice. And this was very evident during COVID. We literally had no idea what we were doing with COVID. There was no regulation. So it all came down to creativity. What do you think you're going to do to make sure somebody's safe? There's nothing written about it. There's no regulation on it. How are you going to keep that person safe? And that's where the person comes in. So
Mhm.
I don't see it replacing humans. Again, I see it assisting in what we can do. And also I see it freeing up a lot of time so then we can go and do what we're great at, being a person, being human.
Should AI be regulated?
Any powerful tool needs to be regulated. Absolutely. Now, don't ask any follow-up questions, because the follow-up question is like, by who? Who is it
By
going to
who? How?
regulate?
Yes.
And then it's like, it's capturing so much information, like a ton of information, and then like, where does that information go? So as a business owner, right, I could upload my P&L and say, hey, where are we doing, blah blah. Okay, but now where's that information going? And then even in the safety field is, let's say I upload all the injury data, and let's say a large organization like a large hospital or something, and you have 1 million data points, and you're going to upload it, and you're going to say, okay, find me trends, which would be a great tool, right? Find me where all my accidents are happening. Find me the location where it's all happening. Provide me a pie chart so then I could really see where I'm going to focus my resources. That's great, but then where does that information go? Like, who has access to that information? You could even have a financial plan, right? Upload all your financials and have AI create a financial plan for you. It does a great job, but like, where is that information? Where is it going? All that stuff is currently not regulated, and that tends to be a little scary. But then at the same time is, who regulates it? What type of regulation? And like, that's where the debate comes in.
Yes, yes, and that's a big debate that
Yes.
we'll be having for a while. That's for sure. Well, I like to shift our conversation towards role models. This is
Mm.
something that we didn't talk in our previous episode. Have you had any role models? Can you tell us some role models that you have had in your professional career?
Well, I had several, especially in college. My geology professor was really someone that kind of took me under his wing, and really kind of like, I really had no direction, and he was definitely my role model at the time. In the safety industry, here on Long Island, Leo DeBobis is one of the biggest names in safety you'll ever hear. Uh, he's not only been my role model, but hundreds, if not thousands, of other safety professionals. He's been a role model for them. Um, but as I get older, I say that a lot. As I get older, the people that I really look up to, or the role models, are like my young employees, my employees that are coming in, and they're young and eager, and they're gonna get the experience that I got. They're gonna go through the CSP process. They're gonna learn that there's difficult people out there. They're gonna learn how government regulations work, and like regulators work, and they're really going to have that experience, and I love that for them. I love to sit back and kind of see what they're doing. I try to provide as much guidance as possible, but they have to go through it, and it's kind of great to kind of see them go through it, and I'm a big cheerleader for all of them.
Well, as you know, we have actually a mix of audience, as we have right now more than 100,000 business-minded YouTube subscribers. Now we have a more diverse audience. One thing is common though, we all like to learn something new. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the questions that we always got from our audience is key lessons that our guests learn. So I like to ask you the same question. Are there any key lessons, some lessons learned in your career that you can share with our audience?
Yes, it's kind of ironic saying this in a podcast, but talking less. You don't have to show people how intelligent you are, or how great you are. The more you can sit back, listen, and absorb from everybody, from the janitor that's there to the CEO that's there, you could learn something along the whole way. So if you talk less, listen more, it will benefit you in so many ways. So many ways. Always be learning. Always. And learning can be podcasts, learning can be universities, learning could be YouTube, but it can also be just interactions with other people. What has benefited me the most in my career is experience, putting myself in uncomfortable positions, right? Like, oh, go do this, go work early, go work in the dregs of the earth, like over here. Yeah, it was terrible. But however, I always resort back to those real terrible times, and has always helped me in my career. Meaning that I could talk to anybody, I can sympathize with anybody. When I do training, it's great to bring up all of those really hard times. So try not to shy away from the difficult things. Um, so I know I'm talking about a bunch of stuff, but don't talk too much, right? Listen way more, and really don't shy away from experiences. If your boss, if your company asks you to do some, asks a group to do something, your hand should be the first one up, no matter what it is. And it might be like you're a safety professional and they're asking someone to do accounting. Well, do it. You'll learn something from it. Or they're asking someone to drive to Virginia and it stinks because you got to drive for 7 hours. Do it because you'll learn something from Virginia and that. So doing has always helped me throughout my career, and I hope that the younger generation can take that as a lesson.
What are your biggest passions and interests outside of work?
Uh, I'm a big family guy. I love my family. I love my kids. I got 3 kids, very active kids, keep me active. Um, Me and my son ran the New York City Marathon last
That's great.
November,
Oh,
which was a
wow.
lot of fun. Me as an old guy, and he was 18. He was 18 and he ran the marathon, so that was
Amazing.
pretty impressive. And then,
Yes.
my kids are really good in school, and my wife, we travel a lot. I definitely enjoy traveling. It opens up your perspective on the world grows exponentially just by traveling. You see different cultures, different people, even within the United States. You go down south, it's different than up here. And when I say different, I don't mean worse. I don't necessarily mean better, but it's different and it's great. If you're able to take some of that and bring it back to where you are, is fantastic. You travel overseas and you look at Europe, and even if we're talking about safety regulations in Europe are vastly different than ours. And it's great to kind of have that experience. So for me, my interest is my family and travel.
This is another popular question that we got a lot from our audience. If you have a chance to go back history, in what time would you like to go back, personally or historically? It is really up to you. But any particular historical timeline that you like to travel back if you have the chance?
Yeah. So your questions are lined up pretty good. So if I could ever go back in time, I say it with my wife all the time. I would go back when my kids were young and just slow down and just slow down. Less is more. Less is more. And now that they're big and older and smellier, I miss those times. And when we were going through that time, people would say, "Oh, we'll cherish it." It goes away. I was like, "Shut up! What do you don't know what you're talking about." And now here I am. I'm that person. I'm that person. Like, "Oh, cherish it when they're that young," and you're like, lack of sleep and like they're crying and like it's like, yeah, sure, I'll try to enjoy this. This is great. But honestly, if I could ever go back in time, it would be having those moments again, and really slow down and appreciate what you're going through. At the time, you were just in survival mode, just trying to get through it. Um, and you know, one other thing that I always think about is, especially in the safety field, we've made such advances. So if you could go back into the industrial world, like many, many years ago, let's say the turn of the century or last century, um, looking at working conditions then and comparing them to working conditions now. Going into a factory in the 1900s and seeing, an 8-year-old working, that would be mind blowing, right? Or people working 80, 90, 100 hours in a week would be crazy. And just like the conditions, how were the conditions? What were they breathing in? What were they exposed to? And like, just being able to take that kind of experience and really appreciate what the safety features that we've implemented today, and like all that hard work from safety professionals, that would be really valuable to be able to see something like that.
Yes, I'm also fascinated by the Industrial Revolution era. Actually, we all studied these in schools, right? They taught us actually. Uh, I personally myself, like in business school, like 20 years ago, we had classes and we learned about this, the Industrial Revolution, how it impacted businesses and the society,
Of
the
course.
the shift of the population from agricultural environment to the cities, the housing crisis, and then the work conditions and the child labor back in the time. How parents actually send their children to factories while they were sitting at home for a while. That was actually that had really happened.
Yeah.
And then seeing those, learning about this, and there was no social security. If something happens, just happens, right? And you're
Yeah. Of
just
course.
out of the, basically business workforce back in the
Yeah.
time. And then comparison right now, right? What a difference,
Yeah. I mean, a good example is people talk about the Empire State Building. Oh, the Empire State Building, it took a little bit over a year to construct the Empire State Building. We would never do that today. And like how great that was. What a feat that was. Yeah, but you had a bunch of people die during that construction. That was acceptable then. Someone dying on a construction site is completely unacceptable in today's standards. We would never allow that. So yes, safety takes time, right? So like the more safe you are, the less productive you are. The more productive you are, the less safe you are. So in today's world, we're trying to find that balance, and it slows down construction. I will readily admit that, but at the cost of no one dying, right? I mean, that's what we're looking for. So yes, we're all about industry. Yes, we're all about production, but at the same time, we want to make sure people are going home to their families.
Yeah, that's a great point. Well, Christian, that was another great conversation with you. Thank you very much. And to our audience, we also had another conversation, another episode with Christian. It was the episode 18, as I mentioned earlier. So if you're interested, please go to our YouTube channel and also watch that as well after watching this one. So highly recommended. Christian, for those who like to continue this conversation, who likes to learn more about your company as well as your uh, your activities as a business, what is the best way that they can contact you?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website, twosafeconsulting.com, they could reach us there, or simple email, kpanella@twosafeconsulting.com.
Christian, thank you very much for being with us in your busy schedule. It was a great conversation, another educational conversation for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thanks for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
You too. Take care.
Well, to our audience and to our listeners, we had another informative episode, education episode at the American Business Podcast. I hope you like it. I like it. I also learned something new from Christian in terms of how to manage time, how to manage actually workplace safety, also how to engage and communicate with businesses as well as other professionals. So that was really good, and we truly appreciate Christian's time. Uh, would you like to be a guest speaker in our podcast? You can send us an email, americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. And also, we welcome advertisers and sponsors for our podcast. We are getting more sponsors nowadays. We truly appreciate it. As you know, we have more listeners and audience than before. More subscribers right now. We have more than 110,000 YouTube subscribers. That gives us a lot of reach. So we definitely welcome companies to advertise in our podcast, sponsor, and we also welcome product placement opportunities. All you need to do is just send us an email and we'll get the conversation started. americanbusinesspodcast@gmail.com. Also, we keep our website updated. If you visit podcast.tv, you can also see our coming schedule, and you can learn more about our business podcast and our team. And when you go into the American podcast.tv, you can also see the schedule on top. We keep it updated, and you can see our coming guests and conversations that we will be talking about in each episode. This is episode 59, and we are almost 60 coming up. So we are very excited to getting ready and stream more educational and informative business podcast episodes for you every week. Well, what else is happening? Let's look at our list and let's have our conversation continuing with this. We have a new sponsor, Ms. Excel. Would you like to learn Excel and other business software systems in a fun and exciting way? Then you can consider Ms. Excel. We have the QR code for the Ms. Excel's website that you can go in. We also have a special code that you'll get a discount. It's ABP 2025. So when you are signing up for any course, make sure to use the discount code ABP 2025. It'll give you a discount. and you can enjoy the educational program with the help of our discount code when you sign up. So this is highly recommended. This is our new sponsor. We are excited to partner with Ms. Excel company. And actually, if you watched last week, the CFO and CMO of the company, Ms. Excel, was with us, and we had a great conversation with Mike, and we learned about more about their company, their teaching practices. It's always fun the way that they teach about Excel and other business courses. So highly recommended. You can visit their website by scanning this QR code. As we discussed earlier, we talk about different subjects in our business podcast. However, we like to turn this conversation into action. That is why we created the Connectional America Business Alliance monthly networking events. Let's discuss, let's talk about popular subjects. However, in these networking events, we also network with other business professionals. It is scheduled for August 2025, August 22nd. And we almost sold out, so we have about 4 or 5 seats left. You can scan this QR code. It'll take you to a registration page. And for the August 22nd event, you can sign up and join us. We'll only have 10 networking companies, businesses networking with each other. And we will also broadcast this, stream this live on the podcast. So you'll be in front of thousands of audience and YouTube subscribers of the American Business Podcast. And you'll have a chance to network with other business professionals in this sense. So it's highly recommended. I hope you can join us, the Connectional America Business Alliance monthly networking event. If you are in the market for an ERP software system such as SAP, Oracle, Microsoft Business Central, you can consider iTech Consulting Inc. I also have their QR code on the screen. You can scan it and it'll take you to their website. iTech offers implementation, training, and consulting services for all ERP systems. SAP, as well as Oracle and Microsoft Business Central. They have a great team, and you can visit their website and learn more about it. And you can also contact them. If you contact them, make sure you got the information from the American Business Podcast. So you'll have a chance to get some discount from their services as well. Well, it looks like this is all for this episode. Thank you very much for listening, and thank you for joining us in this podcast. I'm looking forward to having you in the coming American Business Podcast episodes. Thank you very much, and have a great weekend.